again for the invitation to be here. It's quite a pleasure and a privilege, and I'm very excited to present to you Lion One Metals. We are exploring a world-class gold project in the Pacific Rim, specifically our Tuvatu project in Fiji. Tuvatu is located in a large volcanic caldera which is highly mineralized. It already has over 20 square kilometers of outcrops of high-grade epithermal gold systems up to 440 grams on surface. We're located just around the island from the Vatukoula project, which is an 11 million ounce occurrence, which is in production and is still exploring. Tuvatu so far has had 11 very large epithermal lodes drilled in it. We have already 650,000 ounces in resource categories of approximately 7 grams per ton grade. And those lodes are open at depth and along strike. But moreover, Tuvatu has already identified more than 20 of these high-grade lode systems which we're exploring. And as I mentioned, we've already mapped over 20 square kilometers of outcropping epithermal veins grading high grades in gold at surface that come up through the porphyry system that creates the caldera. So to use a trite metaphor, the elephant is down and we're hacking into the carcass right now. We expect we have every reason to expect that we'll have a similar size gold deposit as is the Vatukoula deposit. But as I mentioned, a portion of that property has already been drilled. And so we're also on a fast track to put that $1 billion worth of gold into production. But what kind of elephant are we? Well, we're the Southwest Pacific Rim species of elephant. We are the Frida River, Wolfe Goldpoo, Lee here type of species. As you can see here, 177 million ounces of gold is represented right along the boundary fractures between the Pacific tectonic plate and the Australian tectonic plate, which has given rise to a lot of volcanism and a lot of mineralization and a lot of world-scale deposits. So that's the type of elephant we think we are. Give you a little closer-up view. Tuvatu is located along trend from Vatukoula and Mount Cassie of Newcrest, and we also have another very large caldera on the other island that I don't have time to talk about today, which we also are exploring, and it's a very early-stage project. So what is our business plan? What's our business model to become a world-class producer in the Pacific Rim? How are we going to do that? Well, first of all, you have to start off being in a very favorable jurisdiction. Fiji was a British colony for many years. They all speak English. They're all highly educated. They have a British legal system, and they have a mining tradition, and they're very pro-mining. It's a great place to do business, let alone visit and go on vacation. You have to have good management. Wally Barakoff is our founder, our chairman, and the driving force behind Lion One Metals. He's no stranger to building value for shareholders. Northern Orion was acquired by Yamana for over $1 billion. He also founded Miramar. That was acquired by Newmont for over $1.5 billion. He also founded La Mancha, which I think is going to be the next takeover, quite frankly. He was involved in identifying the Hasai VMS deposit, which will probably become the largest VMS deposit in the world, and keep your eye on La Mancha. You also have to have a good corporate structure. Well, we have $18 million in the bank. We have no debt. We have 40% of the stock held by insiders, 40% by institutions. We have 48 million shares outstanding, trading just over $1 right now. We're at the low range of our 12-month range of our share price. So we have a very tight corporate structure, and we're very set for success for our shareholders as well as ourselves. But you also have to have something more. You also have to have something that really sets you apart from the other companies. And this is one of the secrets of Lion One Metals. We have a project that's already been drilled by somebody else. Tremendous drill intercepts. 60,000 meters of core. Only about 15,000 of those were assayed. Numerous bonanza grades. you can see why, when I say we have 650,000 ounces in resource categories, keep in mind, under 43-101, we had to cap our grades at 40 grams. We couldn't call anything more than 40 grams if it had higher than that. We think we actually, in fact, have a lot more ounces than that, but we can't say that to any great degree because of the 43-101 requirements. In addition to having already been drilled, this project already has a feasibility study that was done on it. Now, at the time, the 650,000 ounces was worth about $200 million. And they did a feasibility study on that, and they said it was economic at $350 gold. Well, at today's gold prices, it's over $1 billion rather than just the $200 million. So if it was economic in the year 2000, 12 years ago, I would submit to you it's going to be economic today. In fact, we think it's going to be north of a 500 million NPV as we move this project forward and do the preliminary economic analysis and finish the feasibility study, updating it to today. Give you a quick look at the outcrops that we have. The area, as I mentioned, is over 20 square kilometers of high-grade epithermal outcrops near surface and drilled to depth of about 300 to 400 meters so far. They're open at depth, and many of these are still open along strike. This is the area that's previously been drilled, just this portion of it, 60,000 meters of core, 27,000 meters of RC drilling. We have also surface mineable areas, which we're evaluating in addition to an underground mining scenario. But that area by itself had 87,000 meters of drilling, and that's the area that we're going to fast track now to go into production. In addition to that, though, not only do we have a near-term production scenario, we also have, again, as I mentioned at the outset, what we believe is a world-class deposit in the process of being discovered. We think that in this area, plus additional areas in the surrounding vicinity on our tenements, we will have a project which will be the same size in terms of ounces as Vatukoula in a similar caldera just around the island. We have the same type of geology, the same type of mineral system, and we have every reason to believe we'll have that type of world-class deposit. So what we're doing right now, we've completed an IP survey. We're doing our ongoing resource modeling to add to our 43-101 resources. We're updating the feasibility study. We're advancing those defined resources and adding to those. We're doing our metallurgical test work now, and we're going to be updating a feasibility study. And what I'm really saying is we're fast-tracking this to go into production. Again, we have $1 billion worth of gold already in resource categories, and we're adding to those ounces every day. Our market cap's $50 million. I think you can sort of do some of the rough math that I'm thinking about as we monetize that asset. And what we're going to do is we're going to minimize the risk, the exploration risk to our shareholders by being in production and by cash flowing, and we will in no way eliminate the upside by doing that, the upside associated with finding a world-scale deposit. So that's the dual program that we have going on right now at Lion One Metals. The infrastructure is well developed. We don't see any problem. There's no fatal flaw. The feasibility study that was done in 2000 did a good job of removing any potential fatal flaws in the analysis that they did. So we think Lion One is an outstanding investment opportunity. We think we're in the right setting. We have a fantastic track record with our management. We have cash in the bank, no debt. We have all the other elements to execute on our business model, which is becoming a world-class producer in the Pacific Rim while we're exploring for a world-class discovery. And I thank you very much for your time. Thank you.